Getting started with my Instagram AMA, Ask Me Anything about Michigan football. Got a bunch of questions over the last 20 hours or so here we go. So apologize for my meager surroundings for this AMA. I just got done taping a new episode of the Michigan Football Report, so go check that out on YouTube or podcast now. I've been banished from the studio, they're filming NBA Now in there, so I'm over here in like conference room C or I or something like that, way down the hall. A lot of people think that Dylan McCaffrey's better, but it's not based on what you've seen in the field. Shea Patterson, 23 starts in his career, 10 straight wins last year between Notre Dame and Ohio State game. Got to stick with Shea this year at quarterback. I got a two-way tie for my favorite player between Charles Woodson and Braylon Edwards. I give a slight edge to Woodson, though, but those are my top two by far. It's tough to say if they're all fully healthy. I think Nico Collins is the most healthy and hasn't had any issues, in the last year at least. I'd say DPJ is probably still 85-90%, but I think he'll be healthy 95% by game one. I don't necessarily think DJ Turner is going to get significant playing time at all. Maybe a special teams contributor, but I would say from what I've seen of his recruiting film, he probably needs a red shirt. I'm not trying to be a hater, but I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on Michigan beating Ohio State until they do it. So I'm going to say no, but they should. Joe Milton's an interesting prospect. If he doesn't get significant playing time this year, I think he'll be a transfer candidate next year, especially if Dylan McCaffrey sees a lot of playing time. So it's 50-50, but I don't expect to see him sit for 4 years. I'm a believer in what Gattis wants to do, but he's never called plays before, so proof will be in the pudding. If Harbaugh were to leave, I would say Lincoln Riley would be the best young candidate I could certainly consider. Maybe Tom Herman, but I doubt he would leave Texas. I think Brendan Rice will be the wide receiver commit. But other than that, I've kind of stopped following recruiting closely the last 2 or 3 weeks now that the season is upon us. So don't expect much recruiting info from me until at least after the season's over. I got two players here. I think it's Metellus and Hudson. These guys have been 3-year starters, a little overshadowed by their peers in that 2016 recruiting class. So I think they're going to really step up. Obviously, Lavert Hill, he's proved it, but I think Hudson and Notre Dame, 85% chance. Michigan State, 10% chance. I think Josh Gattis is 2 and out at Michigan if he's successful. I don't think it's to the NFL. I actually think he'll try and get a Power 5 job, and frankly, probably the best Power 5 job he could get. I don't think he's worried about which conference it'll be, but not the NFL. I'm not going to speculate who's going to transfer because I'll just get a bunch of hate for it since the season's about to start, but look at players in the 2017 recruiting class that don't see much playing time this year, and I think you'll have your answer when it comes down to it. I've got Pac-12, Stanford, Big 12, I'll say Texas, although I don't love that pick. SEC, Alabama, ACC, Clemson, Big 10, Michigan. Michigan has the talent, the experience, the home field advantage, but Ohio State has the mind control over Michigan. So Jim Harbaugh needs to go see a football psychiatrist to get this team over this fucking hump to beat Ohio State. 4 years for Harbaugh. 2 blowouts, 2015, 2018, 2 close games, 16 and 17. It's got to be this year. Gosh, I don't know when it ever will be because Ryan Day, I don't think he's going to get any worse as a coach. And could this be Jim Harbaugh's best team? I think Harbaugh relates to those guys pretty well. They do a pretty good job with him. So I liked his performance. I listened to the Matt Patricia one just to see how he did today. And gosh, that guy is a train wreck. Listen to the Matt Patricia interview on Pardon My Take. Absolute disaster. Giles Jackson on returns, Mike Sainristil in the slot, Mozzie Smith, Chris Hitton in the defensive line, and then Nolan Rumler will be the best offensive lineman as a freshman, but he's still probably in the 3 deep, won't get a ton of snaps, honestly. Not a ton of contributions this year. Talent, scheme, and execution in crunch time. The biggest thing holding Jim Harbaugh's program back is they don't win close games against good teams. Lloyd Carr did it great. Jim Harbaugh does it bad. Went to 4 games last year, Notre Dame, Ohio State in the road, and then Penn State and Wisconsin in the Big House. This year going to 4 home games, I believe. Army, Notre Dame, Ohio State confirmed, trying to make it up from Michigan State. I say about 40th row and somewhere near. Look, I'm glad he's not at Ohio State, but I hope Urban Meyer coaches again, and USC makes a lot of sense. Easy to come in there and dominate with that program if you're Urban Meyer, but I think he'll coach again, absolutely. I think the retirement is just getting out of Dodge. I don't know. He's been hurt 2 years in a row. to be determined. Let's see him not get hurt. Really high rated recruit. People forget how highly he was rated. I think he was a top 100 recruit, but he's got to stay healthy. I think DBJ is about 90%, 85-90% now. So just cannot re-injure himself during camp. So they're going to take it slow. He's doing a lot of underneath stuff, but he's going to stay healthy, but should be 90%. The biggest thing holding down Brown's defense back is he never got to experience an Ohio State or an Oklahoma-style offense at practice. So hopefully the best defense against an Ohio State is facing a high up-tempo offense in practice, which Michigan hopefully has with Josh Gattis. There's some talk about Khaleke Hudson taking snaps at running back. I'm not sure. Ben Van Sumeren has moved fully to the running back position. And I think Giles Jackson and Mike Sainristil will get, between the two of them, 3 to 4 snaps a game from the running back position. Strength of the team this year: offensive line, wide receivers, defensive line. I think there's 7-8 guys deep that they think they're comfortable with that could start at any time. And see how some of these freshmen, maybe the transfer, they could be 9 or 10 deep at D-line. Frankly, it's the schedule. You've got games where they have like 6 of the top 20. Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, Wisconsin. I think Iowa is rated as well. So schedule for sure, but a lot of those games are at home. Believe nothing you hear about players' weights unless you hear it come from me. I'll give you an update on Wayne U soon. The biggest cliche that all the blog boys use when they have nothing to write about is that players that are normally fat have slimmed up, so don't believe it. Kick returns, I don't think, no sure if it'll be the starting kick returner. I think he'll get in there. Punt returner, backing up DPJ. DPJ is not 100%. Maybe he's the starting punt returner. And then I think he'll take one or 2 snaps from a running back position, maybe coming out of the receiver to the backfield. I think that's something different for this year. Could be the Army game, could be Middle Tennessee State. I think most likely they'll have something for the Notre Dame game, if not one of those two. But I think this is the year. A lot of pressure from Nike to switch it up, especially on the road. Maybe next year have a better career, a better season, but I think this year we got to go with Shea. 23 starts, 3-year starter in 2 different conferences, 10-game winning streak last year. You can't go to an unproven guy. Dylan McCaffrey, 0 starts in his career. Yeah, I don't think Christian Turner's the guy. Zach Charbonnet is the only true running back that I think has potential to be a all Big Ten running back, but probably not this year. So it's going to be a piecemeal running back, and Michigan's going to have to rely on the passing game. For sure, Middle Tennessee State, we know that, but I'm very confident, 80-90%, whatever I said earlier, that's going to be the Notre Dame game. It can't be any other game. It's not going to be Michigan State, middle of November. It's not going to be homecoming. It's not going to be like what Rutgers or whatever the other game is. So, yeah, I love Cam McGrone. People are hyping Devin Gill. I'm not as high on Devin Gill. Look for Cam McGrone to be a big-time impact player this year. Then Mike Dana, the transfer from Central Michigan, I think he's going to be a player. This year I'm going to have to say, and this is sacrilegious, but Notre Dame, if it's under the lights, that's going to be a much better experience, better chance to win, and certainly not freezing cold. Ohio State game, freezing cold, and, are you going to win that game? I don't know. So Notre Dame. All right, there it is. Michigan football. Ask me anything. Thanks for bearing with me on all those questions. Thanks for sending them in. Check out the YouTube channel right now. We've got a new episode. Skipped a couple questions on recruiting, but other than that, answered all your questions. Go Blue!